Hello, I'm Jog, and welcome to episode 1 of Oxygen Not Included. In the previous episode, episode 0, we got everything more or less set up and started, and in this one, well, nothing to do but to get things started now then, shall we? Oh, yeah, there we go. So, first thing I want to do is pretty much what a lot of people do, and we just want to start digging. And digging, and digging, and kind of get things going and being built. So I'm gonna be upfront right off the bat. I have no croat plan on how I want anything to be built or designed and all that. I pretty much just have things go more or less as it happens. So depending on what you're looking for, that could or could not be good. Where is harvest? There we go. I want to enable harvest of all these things. Harvest all of these, all of these. I want to be able to harvest them, but not get rid of them. So as we scroll out a little bit, we can see our little starting area. We can also see some other things. We see, like this little guy, a Draco, now that we've actually started expanding the map. We see hydrogen gas, chlorine gas, water, which is something I definitely want. And, well, we got our guys busy doing, well, anything to everything, really. Now, one thing I want to do is go to the schedule. I want to add another one, and I'm honestly going to want to do a lot of these. And I definitely want to have a lot of duplicants. I almost call them employees. And what am I looking for? Pastime. I like to set up multiple... Oh my god. Multiple schedules so that I can have everybody on... Well, maybe not everybody, but have a couple of people on set schedule so that we can hopefully get more stuff done. Ooh, already right off the bat we got a building over here. Alongside slime and whatnot. Before I forget, as I said, I don't usually try to plan out things too much. Although my plan / hope for this episode is just to get through the first 5 days. Now, hopefully without me talking all the time. And hopefully with me also speeding things up a little bit. And one thing I want to do is I want to get ourselves set up with a couple of outhouses. But before I do that, I want to go to medicine, as I want to get a couple of wash basins set up. Because as much as I care about my duplicants going to the bathroom, I also care about them making sure they're not getting themselves all dirtied up. So right now, let me actually speed things up a little bit. We got people digging, we got people building. For the wash basin, these things will require water, and I also don't want them washing their hands all the time. I only really need them to wash their hands if they're going from the bathroom and out. However, to actually use the pitcher wash basin, sorry, wrong thing, it requires water, which is why I went down here to make a pitcher pump to actually pump up the water. Now, I do have to be a little bit careful as how this is currently set up. If somebody has an accident and uses wets their pants, the water is their pee water will come down here and interact with our fresh water. I'm not too overly worried about it, but it is something that we need to worry about, potentially. Also, as we can notice, that as the duplicants go moving out and about, we can actually see more and more of the map. Some things good, some things bad, like this stuff over here being slime and containing what is known as slime lung, could be seen as something of a bit of a concern. Also, I think my duplicants are a little bit idle at the moment. They are looking for a job to do. So, I believe it is in furniture. Yes, let's give them a couple of cots so that these guys can actually go to bed. One there, and let's say one over here. One thing I do want to be careful about is that this printing pod, if we go up here, lighting, this printing pod actually emits light. And people, well, the duplicants like to be in the dark when they are sleeping, so making sure they're not getting hit by the light of the printing pod could be good, unless they actually have a... what's the right word I want to say? Unless they have something that actually makes them want to be sleeping in light. There are a couple of traits, that's the one I'm looking for, that actually wants that. And right off the bat, we got ourselves an achievement. Bed and bath. Have at least one toilet in the colony and a bed for every duplicant. So, there we go. Our first achievement, and we're only the first day in. That being said, we are going to be running out of time sooner rather than later, and we have no food source being set up and no oxygen being supplied. So, we got things going, it's just going slowly. Also, I never mentioned this stuff, Oxalite. I don't know how much I need to explain and how much I don't need to explain, because I don't know how many people watching this will be familiar with it and will not be familiar with it. I want my guys to go over there. This stuff called meal root, we want them to harvest this. I have it set up to be harvested, right? Yes. So, if I click on this meal root, it is a wild plant that will keep on growing. Oh, also you little guy. It'll keep on growing. It takes 12 cycles, so 12 days, to go from being ready, from growing to being grown. It needs a couple of things, such as air pressure and the right atmosphere, the right temperature and whatnot, but it will give me food. However, if we look down here, if we domesticate it, it can be grown in 3 days. However, doing so requires that it is fed dirt. Now, we won't be worrying about trying to actually grow this stuff anytime soon, because that's going to be endgame stuff. This stuff right here, called muckroot, it is essentially free food, more or less, so I'm not too worried about that. And another thing is down here, Blistle Blossoms, another food that takes 24 cycles to grow. Same thing as before, temperature, atmosphere, pressure, but this requires light. If it is in the dark, it will not grow. And if you actually look at this little guy, he's called a shine bug. This little guy actually produces light, and at least a good amount of light for the distance. So if we can actually get that guy down here, he can actually produce light for down here. However, well, he could do that. He could also lighten up the air when my duplicants are actually doing stuff, like sleeping, and get in the way. Also, if you want to get rid of a plant, if you dig it up, wrong button, if you dig it up, you will get rid of... Okay, yeah. You will get rid of the plant itself, but he just harvested it from it. I thought I accidentally dug it up because when you actually harvest from a plant, you have a chance of getting a seed out of it. Meaning that one little thing of mealwood can give me more mealwood later down the line. Okay, so we got things more or less started. And, oh yeah, I think I was talking before about this stuff called Oxalite. Right now, this is our way of... I'm going to be hitting the runs wrong all the time. This stuff is actually giving us oxygen, which is very nice. However, as you dig stuff up, if you actually can try to get a little bit, if we look over this, it says 977.8 kilograms, but as we dig it out, 489. You will lose half of your resources digging something up compared to how it is solid. Do not worry about Oxalite. Many other people have actually done experiments and have proven that digging up Oxalite will not cause you to lose anything from it. So go ahead and feel free to dig that up if you so wish. I, however, want to try and do something. Like, I want to build a research station. However, I need metal, which we haven't dug out yet. So let's go get some copper. Also, let's go over here and get some more plants that can be harvested if need be. Oh, yeah. So, because I'm going for all the achievements, things like Locaville and whatnot, having plants that will give me free food or just digging up free food is definitely going to be useful. Speaking of digging up, these things, if you actually see the dirt blocks or just blocks in general that have cracks on it, there's a buried object here. It could be something such as an animal, like that hatch that we found out earlier that I never talked about, or it could be food. So, especially if you're going for like a challenge run, definitely dig those up. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is that I am building a manual generator, which is essentially a hamster wheel. They will be running on this, producing power. That power will go into this battery for charging, as well as going to this research station so that we can do research. Now, if you notice, I put the wiring down below and then back up. Duplicants don't really like seeing wire out and about. If you actually look over here, it actually has a -5 to decor. Although, the fact I'm making it out of copper gives it a +10, so it is technically a +5, but generally they don't like seeing things such as wire and cable and pipes and whatnot. So, it may be in your best interest to try and get rid of... Maybe not get rid of that, as that might be a bit too harsh, but maybe think about not having it around all the time. Also, plants like this, I want to be very careful. I want to go over to this room, the room overlays, because I want to look for... Actually, we might not have it yet. Oh no, there's a lot more. This thing, a nature reserve, requires 4 wild plants and a size of 32 tiles. So this has 3 plants, unfortunately not 4. This has 4, so I could turn this thing into a nature reserve, which is something I think I want to do later on, so I definitely want to be careful and not get rid of these plants. Because while you can grow more, well, you can technically have plants be grown naturally, which is what you need for the nature reserve, it is a bit of a pain to do so. Now, before I do anything else, I want to go over here to the research station, or I could actually click up on this, and I want to actually get into research. Now, the research screen is essentially how we are going to progress throughout the entire game. There is a lot of stuff to research and a lot of stuff to get done. And depending on how you want to do things will be up to you for what is going to be best. I think I want to try and get myself started right off the bat, if I can find it, going to colony development and going into advanced research. Because right now we can do basic research or novice research, but as we go down, we are going to need both basic and the advanced. And actually, if we go all the way down, we will need even a third type, which is going to be rocket science, but we won't be dealing with that anytime soon. We'll be dealing with that much later down the line. I just want to get myself set up with the basic 2 forms of science that comes from the base game and deal with that. Now, if we actually look, Cyan over here, can I scroll in? Thank you. Cyan was putting dirt into the research station, so the research station requires dirt to work. Let me pause the game for a quick moment, because I also want to go over to my priorities. So Magenta is my best in terms of researching. She has yeah, I believe it's she, has a skill of 5, so I want her always doing research whenever possible. As for Yellow and Cyan, well, they're both builders, however, Cyan is the best digger in the colony. And Yellow is the best rancher. So when the time comes, I want Yellow to be focusing on ranching, then maybe go to building. I want Cyan to be worrying about digging, and then go to building. So this little guy right here, a hatch, I'm going to say right now, is going to be our biggest food source for the longest time to come. We really are going to want to get a lot of them when the time comes. And 1, 2, 3, actually 4, this is another one, that's good. Hold up, I want to look at something real quick. Okay, this one, right here. The Some Reservations. Improve duplicate morale by designating 4 areas as nature reserves. That's why I want to be careful about destroying things, because, again, the nature reserve requires the whole 4 plants, compared to a park that requires 2. So stuff like this, there's the 2 Bluff Blairs, the Mirrorwood, and the Bristle Blossoms. They don't have to be growing, I just need them. So, like, I can have that be a park, that be a park, this be a park. So that would be 3, and then I can probably get another one up there. Also, interesting thing, we can see up here some computer desks. I'll deal with them later on, but we also see this area over here, and it's completely in the dark. So we can't actually see what's going on over there. We will in time. Also, as we do expand, keep an eye out and look around, as you might be able to find something interesting. I don't think I see one, so let me go over to one of my other tools, the temperature overlay. And yeah, we can see that things are a little bit warm. And a little bit cold, apparently. But I'm looking for something that would be in the absolute blue, the absolute 0, the very blue one. That is not a vacuum. And I don't see anything yet. So we'll just hold off and maybe get some work done off camera. Alright, so Yellow just finished off our first thing of research, giving us the water cooler as well as the crafting station. So every time you get something new, it'll show up on down here with these little things. Not too worried about these things all that much. And yeah, also made another bed because in less than half a cycle, we should be getting hopefully a new... Well, no, we are going to be getting a new duplicant to be joining us on our adventure. Alright, well that was fast. Let me get out of that. Research complete. So with that, we got the advanced research capacity, capability, the supercomputer, and the skill scrubber. Skill scrubber will get rid of any skills, but we actually haven't gone that far yet. Although that being said, who is it? Yellow actually has 1 skill because he was actually born with it, that being the hard digging. Actually, I forgot. I can actually give you a hat for that one. And okay, we'll get into skills when we actually get to that point, as we actually see everyone is getting experience for doing things. But the other thing we got was the supercomputer that we requires water to actually work. So this thing essentially is very power consuming. But it does allow us to actually do greater research. Also, if you notice, I don't have any other research selected. So let's go back in here. And I want to go straight to this. I want to get into ranching, which does mean I have to go to basic farming, meal preparation, and then the ranching. But I'll survive. I want to get into ranching because ranching is going to be the best way to get meat, which is the best way to get the carnivore achievement. So we will have to get that thing more or less set up and ready to go. Also, I am trying to get my base to expand a little bit to go over this way so we can actually see what's in here because I actually noticed this, a security door. But the door requires a symbol to unlock, so I will allow a bioscan to be done, and when they get over there, they will do that. Also, the stuff over here is polluted water, which is also giving off polluted oxygen. Polluted oxygen is not the end of the world, although if we go over to the Germ overlay, right over here, we see that there is slime lung. Honestly, I'm not too worried about it. Slime lung is one of the diseases. Ooh, I'll get into the in just a second. Slime lung is a disease. Actually, if we go back over to the Germ overlay, we can see that there are a couple of germs. So things like the toilets have food poisoning. Stuff like this is slime lung. Zombie spores is something that we won't hopefully ever have to deal with, as we won't really find any of that until the very bottom. And the last one is called floral scent, which we don't see at the moment, but plants, such as this bristle blossom here, when fully grown, can actually give off a floral scent. Floral scent is actually odd, and the fact that it is actually more of a benefit than a hindrance, unless you have a duplicant that is allergic, which I tend to stay away from because floral scent actually gives a good buff to everyone's morale. And we'll deal with morale when the time comes. Now, choose a blueprint. So every so often, the printing pod will allow us to actually print out another duplicant. Or a care package if we have so. So, yeah, too bad I got a rancher because I could have just gotten this guy. You're gonna get a couple of different pawns. I'm so used to Emerald. You're gonna get a couple of different duplicants with their own positives and their negatives. However, one trick I will say that I'm not gonna do right now. If you look in here and you're like, oh, I don't like any of them, save the game, leave, reload the save file, and the printing pod should come in with an entire new batch of characters and items for you to select. So let me look at these guys, and I'll be back in just a minute as I decide who I want. Okay, so looking at these, they all have their positives and their negatives. This guy, well, May right here, girl I should say, very interesting because she has a +7 to husbandry, which is the ranching skill, and I definitely need/want ranchers. However, the biggest issue with May is that she is a slow learner, meaning that her skill leveling will take longer than other duplicants. And while I don't need ranching right this second, having it take longer for her to get into ranching is a bit of a hindrance. And I'm also, ranching is going to be slow to start off with, so I don't even need a second rancher. So, May, I'm sorry, but you're out. That leaves these two. Both are drum resistant, which could be good considering we're going over to that area that has slime lung. You only have 1 negative compared to having 2, and you also have 2 benefits compared to the 1. You start off with art fundamentals, which is another skill, but you have noodle arms, which means that you can't carry as much. You're drum resistant just like Lyra, however you are a yokel who can't do any research, and you're squeamish, which means that you can't do any doctoring. This one is a supplier, doctor, and operator, compared to a builder, supplier, and a digger. I think I'm going to take Bandy. You're not going to be called that, but I think I want you. I don't care about research. I really have somebody else doing that, and if I really need someone else to do basic research, that's fine. Squeamish, doctoring, I rarely ever have duplicates get damaged, so I'm not really worried about doctoring. And having another dig around isn't a bad idea. Another builder also in the bad. Supplying for the extra carrying weight? Yeah, I'll take that. I think I'm going to call you, and I'm going to rename you to Blue, to go with my whole color scheme that I got going on right now. So, Blue, welcome aboard. I already got you a cut set up, so here we go. Oh. Interesting, this is new to me. Blueprints. What's this all about? A sunny retro flower pot. A funky yellow flower pot for plants on the move. Okay. I don't know what that's all about, but okay. So yeah, now our little group is expanding, and just like that, I also got basic farming, which again, if you're going to do the Locavore achievement, which means don't using any potted plants or anything like that, be careful. Compost to turn polluted dirt, which I will need because of these guys giving me polluted dirt. This would turn it into normal dirt. The only issue is that it will generate a little bit of heat, but not too worried about that one. Ration box, which is actually something we got to start off with to hold food. A planter box, again, do not plant if you're going for the achievements. And algae terrariums, it's actually something I should actually think about. We need oxygen. If I go to my oxygen overlay, right now we're doing fine, but that was because of all the oxalite, and I don't see any more oxalite out and about the base. So oxygen, we have two options. The algae terrarium will consume algae and turn that into oxygen while also removing carbon dioxide. So it is a way of removing CO2, as well as the fact that it gets an efficiency bonus if it is in light, which we unfortunately can't really do right now unless we can get one of these little guys. Another option is the oxygen diffuser. It also uses algae to make oxygen, but it is much, much faster. The issue is that it requires power. So this thing takes 550 grams of algae, turning it into 500 grams of oxygen a second, compared to this one that takes 30 algae but gives you 40. So if you are low on algae and want to make a bunch of terrariums, be my guest. I want to say these things... yeah, these things also come with the added requirement of water, though. And they also will give you polluted water out in exchange, and... yeah, no. They also will... yeah, they will also... they take in water and will give you back polluted water. So I guess you could say that's where that 10 comes from. I'll say the algae terrariums are mostly beneficial if you have the light to go with it. Otherwise, I mostly just go for the oxygen diffuser. Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. It's just what I do. So I'm going to put you down here because I want the oxygen to flow up, if I can dig that out. And get power set up. And this is definitely not going to stay. Like, all of this right now is just very temporary. And since we're going to be using so much power with things going on, I definitely also need to be building some more stuff. Oh, also, before I forget, Blue, let me put you on a... I should have done this before. Should have had two people on this schedule, so that when Blue came in, she would have been on that schedule. But okay, it's fine, it's fine. Blue, go on the schedule, go do whatever it is you want to do. You're not hungry, considering you were just recently born. So, yeah, she's just going to enjoy her time and go to bed. As Magenta and Cyan go use the bathroom. Now, we do need to be careful, because the outhouses have so many uses before they have to be emptied out. And, well, the more duplicates you got, the more people using the bathroom. The more people you got using the bathroom, the faster they fill up. Also, these guys, I would say keep an eye on them a little bit, as they will eat that stuff that we have laying out on the floor, such as the sandstone, or the muckroot, or anything else. However, these guys will actually poop out coal. So, yeah, very interesting. I also see that eggs, these guys will lay eggs every so often. So, hatchling, stone, sage. We'll deal with that when we actually get into proper branching. And it looks like I got another blueprint. Which I'm assuming are just little random things that the game gives you now. Hey, we actually got another achievement. Oh, I think I know exactly what this one is. Outdoor innovations, yes. So I was just looking out and around a little bit. We got that because we started building in another environment, that being this whole little swampy land. Also, this stuff, I also didn't mention it before, abyssalite. This stuff is very useful because thermal conductivity of 0, meaning this stuff will never naturally transmit heat or temperature from one to another. So this stuff can actually act as a barrier. Hello there, more research. This stuff can work as a barrier, keeping temperatures out or in. We will dig through the stuff eventually. It is a little bit difficult to break through, especially look. We need someone with super hard digging to actually break through that. Also, wrong thing. But yeah, we'll deal with that later on. Got more research, getting ourselves the electric grill, the egg cracker, the mess table, and the farm table. Mess table! What? Oh, right. I hit a snag, because my researcher does not have advanced research yet. They have not gotten themselves enough skill. So, okay, it's fine because they can still do the basic research on this one, but until that is over with, they can't actually do ranching. So, let's instead work on some other little things, like, I don't know. How about we get into the bathroom? We'll go to plumbing and then into the bathroom stuff, so that'll be a way to go. At least until we get ourselves some skills. But, oh yeah, back to what I was saying before. Mess tables is honestly one of the best things you can probably get. If I actually go into this, and if I can find it... Not a barracks, so that's something else I should also make. Mess hall, which is a mess table and just a okay-sized room. Or a great hall, requiring more space, decor of 20+, and a recreational building. A morale of +6. Morale is something that is very, very important, especially as we go on. And the fact that the mess hall will give you +6 to your morale is honestly amazing. The issue being that it will require a little bit of space. Let me build a copy. Get rid of... Keep hitting all the wrong buttons. Let's put in water cooler. And, okay. Oh, and another achievement. Okay. Recover a database entry by inspecting facility ruins. Oh, that must be because, yes, they actually inspected that doorway over here, so now I can actually see in here. And, ooh! Ooh, right off the bat, I will gladly accept that. If I can dig this up and get rid of these walls. Also, be careful. When you deconstruct, you will deconstruct everything. So if there is anything behind this, which right now there isn't, but if we had something like, say, plumbing, ventilation, or power behind this, and you just deconstruct, you can deconstruct things that you didn't mean to. But yeah, I definitely want this, as well as we will dig. I apologize, I have my keyboard covered right now, because I'm trying to muffle the sound. So I can't actually see my keyboard, and I keep hitting the wrong keys. These things, these lockers, I want my pawns, duplicates, whatever. I want them to rummage through them, because they could find something useful in them, but we can also inspect them. I look around, but I find nothing of interest. I look around, but I find nothing of interest. I look around, but I find nothing of interest. Well, that kind of stinks. Let's go over to this, and expect this. I searched the computer storage, storing what useful data I could find in my own memory. New database entry has been unlocked. We can find these from different things. I want to say you're always going to find one at the computer desk, and you rarely find one in the locker. So this will actually give us a little bit of backstory. Let me slow the game down. I don't know how you pulled it off, but Stern's office just called a paper and granted me an exclusive on a tour of the Gravitas facility. I owe you a beer. No, a case of beer. 6 cases of beer. Seriously, thank you. I know you're in a difficult position, but you've done the right thing. See you Tuesday. I waited at the fountain for 4 hours. Where were you? The story's gonna be huge. Call me. Dr. Owell, I'm sorry. I know ambushing you at your home last night was a bad idea, but something is happening at Gravitas, and people need to know. Please, call me. So yeah, we get little bits of history and whatnot. Find another one. Shoot. Oh! I can see what's up on top. Dear colleagues, friends, and community members, after 9 deeply fulfilling years as editor of the STEM Scoop, I am stepping down to spend more time with my family. Please give a warm welcome to Dorian Hurst, who will be taking over editorial management duties effective immediately. Okay, so I might have been reading these backwards. But, okay. Well, something's going on. And this thing! Oh, this thing! A massive synthetic brain suspended in saline solution. There's a chair attached to the device with room for 1 person. So we can put somebody into this thing and get well, something out of it. Well, how about Magenta? I know you're doing the research, and I don't know how useful this will be to you in the long run, but I definitely want to see what will happen. Let's speed things up. The Magenta goes in. Thing starts. And complete the Gnoll process. Whoa, Magenta's brain is still vibrating, but they never felt better. Magenta acquired the beefsteak trait. The duplicate got muscles on their muscles, plus 10 to strength. So this thing can actually give you... Excuse me. Sorry about that. The thing can give you 1 out of 4 different traits. Granted, you have to not have that trait to begin with, but you can get them. I don't remember all of them. I believe one is Diver's Lung that makes them use half of the oxygen. So that's cool. Okay, they also inspected these things and got themselves some cool vests. Also more research. Protects the wearer from heat by decreasing insulation. So, as it says, this thing makes it so that heat does not affect them as much. So let's give a blue one to blue, a blue one to cyan, and a blue one to yellow. They'll wear them whenever they get the chance. Also, more research. We got the liquid pipe, the liquid bridge, the liquid pump, and the liquid vent. So now we can actually deal with plumbing if and when the time comes. Like, properly. And we're actually running low on time for this episode. Not much time left, we won't get another duplicate, and yeah. Overall, things are more or less getting started. We definitely do need to be, like, expanding a little bit more. I'm taking this game slow, which is another problem, but I also want to try and take things a little bit slow. I definitely want to hear what people have to say, or what people think, or say what might be best. We got plenty of time. We have all the time in the world to essentially just go through this game and explore and just do everything and anything. And I mean, just look, this... Like, we've only just scratched the surface. If I actually go down here, just go up. There is so much. Like, there we go. There's the roof. Like, I can't even see how far that is, but that is definitely a while. And that's just going up. I want to say we're probably a lot closer to the surface than I originally thought. But we have so much to the right, so much to the left, so much down below. The entire thing, as I said before, is our canvas. Also, this is a mess hall. It is not a great hall because we don't have any decor. But it's a plus 3 to the morale, which, well, since I'm not going to get into it, when duplicates get skill, actually Blue got a skill. As duplicates get experience, they will be able to get some new skills. With their new skills will come stress. So if I do that, they have 1 piece of stress, but 5 things morale. As long as morale is higher than the morale needed, duplicates will be completely fine. However, should it be the opposite, if they need more morale than what they got, they will start getting stressed. And when they get stressed, things do not go well. And as we can see, well, Blue got one. Oh, Blue actually had a skill because newly spawned pawns will always start with a skill ready to go. Whereas Cyan, Magenta, and Yellow, who've been here the entire time, are still trying to get there. Cyan will be kind of doing the same thing as Blue, going into digging and building, although I might have Cyan go into building at this rate. Magenta is going to go into researching. Well, that's because I actually want to get down that way eventually. And Yellow is going to go into farming to then go into critter ranching. Because you have to go the farming first to get to ranching, which is a tad annoying, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to go crying over it. But yes, either way, we are pretty much at the end of this episode. So I guess I'm just going to start signing off. I'm not going to do anything off camera in between episodes. And I've been recording this for about... how long has it been? If I can get the thing, about 40 minutes. So, wait. Oh, shoot. I've been looking at this wrong the entire time. I thought we were on... yeah, no, there we go. Cycle 5. I'm going to stop right here. So, yeah, we've been at this for 40 minutes. We've really only just scratched the surface, and when we come back next time, I think we'll probably... I I don't really have anything in mind to plan. No, we're just going to be expanding. We're probably going to try and get into ranching to get started off. I'm definitely going to be more than only going from episode, like, 5 to 10. Maybe 5 to 15, but we'll wait and see. Until then, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, concerns, or tips, tricks, or anything you want me to try and do, please feel free to ask, or feel free to say. Until next time, see you later.